This week we are doing Chad. Chad is one of the 5th poorest countries in the world, and food is very scarce. Food is also very hard to grow because it's very deserty and dry. Not like some of the other countries, how you can grow things more easily. But there are many people, 300,000 people in refugee camps because there's a war going on between Sudan and Chad. So those people live in refugee camps, and if they can find enough water and enough millet to cook themselves a meal, then that's theirs. So we're going to use a half a cup of millet into our rice cooker. And then 4 cups of water. We're going to add 2 pinches of salt. Alright, so now that we got our millet cooking, millet porridge, or Aisha, we're going to talk about the millet itself. The millet is a staple in Chad, and this amount would feed a family of 4 for 3 days in a refugee camp. This would be most of the time all they eat in refugee camps, but if you're wealthy enough, you may afford some vegetables or like some meat, stews, to go along with this. This millet, we think in America, is just birdseed, but it's what they eat in Chad. Believe it or not, it's their main food staple. Well, but it's like our rice, corn, beans, potatoes, what we would usually eat. But it's completely not. It's their staple, not birdseed. These are pictures from Darfur refugee camps. It's mostly the region where the war between Chad and Sudan is going on. As you can see, this is how they get their meals. They line up, and then there's the big pot of porridge, and everyone has their little cup where they get it. This person also made Aisha, like as we just did, except she's making it in her own hut instead of a refugee camp. She lives by herself. These people are better off because they can add vegetables to it instead of just having to have it plain. They can add other things to it. So now that the porridge is nice and cooked, we're going to try to eat it. But we made it liquidy instead of more like in chunks and like more of a dough. We decided to make it liquidy to show you how it's like at a refugee camp, because they need a little bit to go a long way to feed so many more people. So we have that ready. And so it's nice and liquidy, so it looks a lot like a small porridge. So make yourself some. And then you can taste it. This is about all they eat at small refugee camps. But if you're really wealthy, you may put, for example, breakfast, you put like sugar and raisins or bananas or dates. And maybe for like lunch or dinner, you put like lamb meat, goat meat, beef stews, and yeah. And you'd serve it on top of it. But this is the basic thing that you would have to go with every meal. I like to add some cinnamon sugar and some raisins to mine. I like to get it nice and mixed, so I don't serve myself a whole lot, so I don't spill it out, that kind of thing.